Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you have had an enjoyable day so far. It's Wednesday now. It says I'm offline, so probably I'm having some connection issue. Just hang on, give me a moment. This is a very terribly unfortunate situation because just as I got to go live, it says I'm offline. But it seems that things are still working fine, so I'll just continue. So today is Wednesday. It's a middle point of a week, so hopefully we are having a good week so far. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, good afternoon to you. My name is Kevin. I'm a licensed financial planner. So what happened was this is a whole things about this live stream was actually initiated because of the full movement restriction order, the full MCO. That I was thinking maybe it makes sense for me to go do certain very short live stream about 20 to 30 minutes every day to share certain positive information or knowledges that I know or from any experience that I have come across so far, so that hopefully some of us who are dealing with difficult situation or having tough challenges now will have some motivation or some info that can help you to take constructive action so that you can work on whatever challenges that you are currently having. So this is day number 9 that I'm doing it. I didn't plan to do this from the very beginning. It's just a idea that I suddenly have, and then I just go on and do it. And to my own surprise, I didn't know that I can actually do this for 9 consecutive days. So I suppose I will be able to honor my own promise to go and do it every day for at least the first 14 days of the MCO, the lockdown. So along the way, some of you have asked me if we can also share more about topics related to how do we have a better financial foundation, or how do we build a stronger financial health for ourselves. So I think it's a good time for us to cover a topic called cash flow planning, because cash flow, to my own understanding, is very important. And to do that, I am not planning to just talk about it myself. I have invited a guest. Her name is Vivian. So let us just together welcome Vivian to the studio. Hi Vivian, good afternoon.
Hi.
How
Hi,
are you
Kevin.
doing?
Thanks for inviting me. I'm good. So far, so good. Busy and positive.
Positive in here, but negative in the test.
Yes. We definitely need that for negative.
Thank you so much for agreeing to allocate your time and to share with us on this topic. So before we begin, I just like to properly introduce you. Just want to say that I know you are a financial planner, but would you be able to share with us what you actually help your clients to do?
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin, for inviting me for this session. I'm a licensed financial planner, so works with my clients to manage their well-being, so that they can focus on their more important things like their jobs and even their personal life. So they can have a desired life after all the planning. So in future they have a peace of mind. Yeah.
Having a peaceful mindset nowadays, I think, is very important, very precious.
Yes, I do agree on that part.
Cool. So, how long have you been working as a financial planner, Vivian, and how do you like it so far?
I've been in this industry for 3 years, which I get my license since 2018. So it's been 3 years. I'm enjoying and I'm very passionate when it comes to finance because this is what I want to learn more to helping most of the people, especially our Malaysians, when deal with their financial well-being. Because I noticed that most of us do not have the financial literacy, which is we never learn when we are young, when we are in our school time. So this is very important. So don't worry, it's still not too late. We still have time. We still have the long way to go to learn about financial planning and financial literacy.
Okay, so I think it's important for us to also recognize that tough situation will eventually go to pass, but the tough person will always remain here and it have better improvement and better life ahead of us. So let's go straight into the topic and the points that we are going to cover and share here today. So Vivian, can you share with me, share with everyone here, right? What is the meaning of cash flow planning? Because sometimes we may know what's the meaning of it, but maybe for the benefit of everyone, can you share with us what is the meaning of cash flow planning?
Okay, what is cash flow planning? Actually, it's an assessment and projection of our income and expenditure over our monthly and yearly. So the objective actually to see whether we able to meet our essentials and desired expenses every year. So this is very important for us to have a proper cash flow planning so that we can know whether we are at the stage of we are at the positive stage or even negative stage. So yeah, why is so important? Because actually we can say that cash flow is a bloodline for our financial process. So, of course, in the cash flow planning, we can understand or even identify our spending habit, because most of us have some of the the spending habits not so positive. We have those like impulsive buying habits that we might especially during this period of time we are working from home, so we have much more time to sit in front of the computer or even our laptop. So after doing some job, you might go over to Shopee or Lazada to go shopping. So this is one of the spending habit we will build up from there. Okay, and source of income through our cash flow planning, we also notice we can understand where the source of income coming from and the areas to improve on. This is what we see the cash flow, the importance of the cash flow. And the other thing is through the cash flow we can understand the goal setting and prepare for the uncertainties, especially during this time.
Mm. So sounds like cash flow planning is really very important because it helps us to understand so many things about our life. So would you agree if I were to say that by looking at how a person spend their money, it can actually tell us a story about how this person live their life?
Yes, of course. Because through normally we financial planner we collect some of our clients' statement, which is like that most of the financial documents. Through the documents, we will find out that we will notice, we will identify how their spending habits are. Maybe they would like to, maybe they spend more on online, or maybe they buy a lot of luxury things, or maybe they buy a lot of foods. So this is how we will identify and know that their spending habits like. And through that, we also notice that some of the amount of money, where the money goes. Somebody client will come to you and tell you that, hey, I have this amount of money every month. But true fact is, when you go through their saving account, you doesn't find that amount. So through the, credit cards or even some of their debit card statement, so you can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say for example a person has been working for 5 years and then the income, say for example, is 50,000 a year. So by it's fair for us to say that we will be happier if we see that most of the income are actually retained in the bank. But let's say today when we check our bank account, oh, we have been earning about 250,000 so far, but let's say the bank account only have few thousand, then probably this is, does it mean that our cash flow planning, we have to pay more attention to it, or something has not gone right in terms of the cash flow planning side?
Yeah, it makes it totally you have to go through your cash flow planning already, because you should have certain amount that you should set aside for your saving for other financial goal, like your retirement or even emergency funding, or perhaps you have a family, starting to have a family, so you might need to set aside for your children education as well. So yeah, you should go into that, because you already it already alarm you that you have issue. You shouldn't, at this stage, you should have a certain amount that you should set aside on that part. Yeah.
So going back to that example, right? Let's say I really work for 5 years. I have earned 250,000. But if, let's say, throughout the 5 years period, I have really set aside at least, for example, like, I really set aside 10% of my income. By right, I should have 25,000 minimum in my bank account. So if today I don't even have that amount, and let's say I'm quite far from there, for example, only have 5,000, then this is probably a good reason for us to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, how can we make improvement? And like Vivian suggests, the first step is to start from cash flow planning, because cash flow, like she rightly put it, is like a blood in our body, and then you have to make sure that it continue to circulate. You cannot have blood clot, otherwise it'll be very difficult already. So Vivian, how can we like a layman person, a normal consumer, how can we do cash flow planning or ourselves?
Yes, you can. Just that you need time to sit down, and then like maybe perhaps monthly, to get all the documents out and then go through everything to see what sort of things that you have spent on, and things that you have to find out how's your spending like. So perhaps, and then jot in one of the maybe buku lima, or like what our parents did, right? Jot in the buku lima, so at least hey, perhaps you have things that you have spent too much, because you need to identify the priorities and even your necessity and wants. So yeah, we should do that, every month.
So every month, for example, today I'm receiving my salary. I should actually, like, the Sunday, set aside, I think 1 hour should be more than reasonable, to just sit down and have a date with our money. Because every time we have date with our friends, we go gathering, but when is your last time that you have a date with your own money? Have a date means I do that also, especially since last year. I do that a lot frequent. Every Sunday night, every month, not every week lah, I will sit down, I will look at my my savings, I will record down the new balance, then I will see over time whether it grow up or actually it gets lesser and lesser. And then in terms of cash flow on every month, I will also allocate and make sure that this month I may want to spend more on certain area, but it doesn't mean that I actually spend more overall. I spend more on this area, I have to find ways to reduce on the other areas. So this is perhaps the first step. Don't have to waste a lot of time, even 30 minutes. As you do more and more, 30 minutes will be more than enough for you to do everything already. So
I do agree with you, Kevin. It make it fun. Don't see financial planning or even doing all this as a like boring job on you. So just make it fun. Don't stress yourself out.
Yeah, but let's say if we think that the reason we don't want to do this is because it's boring, it's not fun. Think about the next potential the outcome. If I don't do this, maybe it's not boring, but it will be very scary, because every time I spend money, I'm not really sure if I'm spending the right money at the right place, and then I'll have a lot of stress. And worse, if I do not manage it well, end up with a lot of money problem, it will be even, maybe boring is a better things for me at that time, but it may be too late already, because certain things have been done already.
I do agree with you. So perhaps you can like you have a goal. Like me myself, I visualize that I would like to go back to Japan. Maybe 5 years later, hopefully the pandemic is over by then. So I just visualize that and then do my monthly budgeting, so that I can set aside for this amount of money to go back to Japan again. So make it fun.
So when we do the planning on our cash flow, we are actually planning to tell our money where you should be going to, and to make sure we use the money in the right way lah, so that we can support us to live the life we want, go the places we want to go. So Vivian, how would you say about this question? What should a person be careful or mindful about when he or she do his or her own cash flow planning?
When they need really to be honest to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because people tend to avoiding on this part when come to cash flow planning. So they kind of avoid on this when they come to see their cash flow is not in a healthy stage. So they perhaps they would jump, like what I mentioned it before, they would jump straight to investment, which I know I came across with one guy before. He avoid to talk about cash flow planning. So what he want is go straight to investment. What he believe that the investment planning will help him, to turn his cash flow back to positive.
I see.
Yeah. So be honest to yourself and face it. Even you have an issue on your cash flow planning. Yeah.
So how do we know if we have cash flow issue or we are healthy or not?
So you need to find out whether after n months do you still have the surplus of your cash flow left in your saving account. So if you don't have, please find out which area that you need to focus on, to find what the root cause that causes all this leading you into the negative stage. Leading you to the negative cash flow stage. So that you need to focus on, and then perhaps you seek for someone to help you on to identify or review on your cash flow. Yeah.
So of course, if we do, that means the first step is to write down our income. Then we predict what we are spending or what we spent in the previous month or previous year. If we have negative, it means that the cash flow situation is not healthy. I think that one is pretty obvious, right? So if let's say my cash flow situation is not negative, and then does it mean that I'm healthy already in this aspect?
Not so, because we still have to find out that whether this amount of money that you have every month, does it you can allocate it into your other financial goal, like your retirement. Yeah, so you have extra for that, because when come to retirement, you may need some of amount of money, so that during your retirement, why I always say, at least you have a peace of mind during your retirement. Yeah. So the extra, the surplus of the cash flow, so that you can allocate for others purpose.
Okay, so we, even if it's positive, before I can say that I'm healthy in my cash flow, I should also at least make sure that I have do my part in setting aside certain amount of money for all the plans that I have in the future. If I got no plans at this moment, at least think about the retirement plan, or at least make it a habit to save some money for emergency. Would you agree with that?
Yes, that is very important. Like I always emphasize on it, is especially during this period of time. So please do set aside one portion of it for your emergency.
It's a non-negotiable things, right? Because especially during time like this, and then also of course, if let's say my income is not a fixed salary, does it mean that I have to be even more careful when I do my cash flow planning?
Yes, because I have one client. Her income is not. At this stage is not stable at this moment. So what we did is we sat down twice a month, so that we can go through her cash flow to identify certain area that she might need to trim off, and then make sure that she come up with a budget on this part. So to spend on it, be careful on that part, and then make sure that she have enough of emergency, so to help her go through this period. Yeah.
So I mean, doing a regular review is also quite crucial in
Yes.
ensuring we stay on track with the plans lah.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What about if I do my cash flow planning and then at the same time I seems to realize that is maybe quite a number of amount has to go to repaying loans and debt. Does it mean that I have to be careful in planning and try my best to take it off first?
Yeah, if you still have income coming in, you try your best to offset some of the especially your credit card, so to offset on this part. So in case if anything happen like unexpected event, so at least the one part you already taking care of. Yeah.
Mm. So if we have a high interest debt, of course the plan is the earlier you can remove it, the better because it saves your future self from having to repay it with your future income, and then also save a lot more on the interest expense. I think one of the way we keep feeling we don't have enough to spend every month is potentially also because we have to pay the bills that the past the us in the past has created for the future us by buying some things out of planning, and then the worst is that the balance in the credit card is carried forward. So that's why the future money, without you, before you even receive the income, this income has been booked by the credit card and the bank already. So one of the
Yes.
way to ensure our cash flow will be as healthy as possible is to take off all the fats, right?
Yes, yeah, trim out all of the fats. And then beside nowadays, there's not many people can do this like by setting aside for your saving first, then take care of your expenditure. I mean, for your expenses. We seldom we can meet out this kind of a client like this. You know, what we always hear is gaji habis, bulan belum habis. This is what we see. So yeah, yeah, this is what we are facing now. Yeah.
So when you work with your clients to do their cash flow planning, would you advise them or suggest them to try their best to, exercise the pay yourself first method?
Yes, I will. At least can we can allocate certain amount, which is comfortable. Don't for I mean, it depends on individual, which is with a comfortable amount. So to pay yourself first. Now sometimes you need to acknowledge yourself, take on yourself. Be good to yourself, and then pay yourself first. To set aside for your financial goal. Yeah.
So I used to don't think that pay yourself first really can make a difference because especially when the income is not high, I would be thinking and telling myself the money is not really a lot, how to pay yourself first, but let me try first lah, try and plan first. If got balance only I save. So this kind of mindset, do you have any comment on it?
Don't say it try, make it as a habit. So I will encourage my client normally, just begin with a small step first. Maybe you start off with 100 first. Yeah, a small step. You never know, right? So when you build up your habits, then when it become a routine, so then you will have the motivation to go further. Because what we need is now the habits to pay yourself first, not to like we financial planning a planner to push you to do so. We want it to like you have develop your own habits on this part. Yeah.
So I mean you point out a very important note here is that you have to start from small step. I think from my own experience, a lot of time people may be over ambitious or very ambitious. They want to start from an amount that they think is big enough for them to start. So that's why people delay it. But if you think about it, starting from 50 ringgit or even 100 a month, right? No matter what happened, after 1 year, you definitely will have saved 600 or 1,200 richer than if you
Yes.
haven't started. So that's the whole idea about pay yourself first. It's so simple to do until we don't believe
Yeah.
that it will work.
Yes, because some of them no don't even have this kind of habit. So I just try to make it fun for them. Like maybe I will always will ask them, hey, month end what you want to buy, through Shopee or anything. So maybe you just get an envelope, and then every day you should have a small change, like maybe 5 ringgit, took out from your wallet, and put in the envelope.
Ah,
When you one month later, what you find in the envelope, then you just use that money to motivate yourself, or even just acknowledge yourself. You have saved up the money. Yeah,
so if you want to buy some things that is more expensive, then the amount needs more than what's inside the envelope. You have to save more than five
yeah,
ringgit
even
lah.
more. Yeah, even more than that. Yeah.
That's a systematic way to shop online.
Yes.
Will it help if, let's say, before I shop, I also write a list down about what I really want to buy, and then at the end of the month, I have to follow and see what's the things that I should buy first?
Yeah, it works also, because what I did is I list out a list to buy online, or even set a limitation. Few days ago, I just have a discussion with one of my client, and then I suggest that why not we set a budget, a month, I say, to buy through online. So perhaps you can save up, maybe you wanted to buy like 500 or maybe 200, so you just set the amount to yourself, or even your credit card.
Mm. Let's say if this person, the income is not regular one, sometimes a lot, sometimes not so much. How do we do the cash flow planning to make sure that the irregular income do not disrupt us in having a smooth experience in planning?
Normally, we will take out like average of the amount of money to set as a budget, so
Mm-hmm.
that they can follow that budget to go through everything. I mean, through their the cash flow planning. So at least they have an idea of it, the budget. Yeah, this is what I should spend on, or even to save on this, so that they won't be so stressful on their part, because sometimes they may not have that kind of amount, or maybe lesser than that. So at least they have an average on this, so they can use that as a
Mm.
guidance. Yeah.
Okay, that means this month if I earn more, this extra amount will still be set aside, so that in the future
Yeah.
months, when the amount is lesser, I will still have this or extra amount to come in and replace the gap.
Yes, yes, or maybe as an emergency. Yeah.
Mm. And then in terms of my spending, because like you say, you suggest to do budget, so I already plan a way to spend my money every month. So whether it that month I earn more or earn lesser, I already know that this is a fixed amount that I'm going to be spending every month. So that's why
Yes.
earning more doesn't mean that it becomes money that I can now afford to simply spend away. So
Yeah.
that's a very good system to ensure happiness do not prompt us to overspend when our income is more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Vivian, when do you think a person should do cash flow planning?
What you mean is like by stage, or by like every month?
Okay, I think just now we said that at least once a month. So, but that is
Yeah.
when we make it a habit. But sometimes people may think that, hey, my money is all okay. Why do I need to do this? So, is there like an event or life stage that makes us more important for me that I cannot delay doing this anymore?
Yeah, my advice is you should start it as early. When you first time you get your salary, like what I did last time. I think my parents told me, and then always save for your future. So I when I first get my salary, so I already start on that part to make sure that I have a positive cash flow. So this is very crucial, because you need to save up, especially to allocate for your retirement or others, other goals on that part. So you should stay as early as you can.
I mean, as early as when we earn our first income, or I mean, as student, they may not be earning their fixed income yet, but from, let's say, internship, I mean your daughter just finished her internship,
Yeah.
right? Did she do cash flow planning also?
Yes, she did. In
Very
fact,
good.
yeah, in fact, she's really good in cash flow planning. So she already allocate certain amount, to put in one account so that she can use that for investment. So what she did now is for investment, and also certain amount that she want to buy online. So she had allocate nicely. So she have to make sure that every month she have this amount, especially to make sure that it's positive lah. So
Mm.
there's some emergency funding because the mom won't help him during emergency.
But that's the benefit of having a mother who is a financial planner.
Yeah, but I'm very proud of her. But because even without my help, she already know how to manage it well. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure whether your daughter's Monique is listening in, but if she do, I think she will be very happy because the mother just said on air, I'm very proud of her. But I think it's important that when we start to earn our first month paycheck, we start to do proper planning because human are a creature of habit. If we don't build this habit from the beginning, eventually you'll find it even tougher and tougher for us to try to change the habit later. And
Yes.
when we start, of course, it's logic to assume the income is smaller. So when the amount is small, we make mistake, we learn, the pain is less compared to when the
Yeah.
income become big. Then you only realize this habit is not helping you. Then the pain, I suppose, will be even bigger and bigger and bigger, which is definitely not in our best interest to go through these kind of things.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. So I think the point is we must do cash flow planning as early as possible. Whether you feel you are earning good income or not so good income, you should start now also, right? Because no matter how much you earn, with planning, the meaning of planning is to make sure you use your money according to your situation and what you really want to do.
Yeah, yeah. Even Kevin, even now the students, students at school, they also can do it cash flow planning, which is like every month, parents will give them some pocket money, try to teach them, to educate them how to manage their money. So yeah, start it from young. Maybe the school, yeah, even though the school have provide some of the education, but we as a parents, we should educate them as well, become their role model. Yeah.
And also teach them how to appreciate money because let's say young student or children, they may not even know how money can be earned. Sometimes we see our parents scan with our phone, swipe with the card, then the item becomes yours already, so they may not appreciate that to earn money you have to work hard or you have to put in work sacrifices or whatnot.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I think that
Agree.
that one is another topic by itself, how to talk to your children about money. But
Yeah.
Vivian, so
Yeah.
before we end this conversation, do you have any can I, on behalf of all the listeners, ask you for some tips on how to manage your money or save money during time like this?
Yeah, I'll identify your needs as I mentioned in the beginning. Identify the necessity and your needs and the priority of it. So identify on this part. So at least you know, and then come up with a budget. Set a budget. The budget that money for your things, the necessity, and even your other things for you. Yeah.
So is there like any other way, like some method that you use that help you have more discount or save more money?
Yeah, well, sometimes no, some of the like platform, they will send me some of the deals, like good deals, so we'll go for that. But before I go for that, I have to think whether this item here, is it really I need it, or perhaps I can wait for that. So before that, spend wisely, think wisely before you buy anything.
Oh, very good. So before we do anything, I mean, not only when it comes to spending, always think about whether this is really what we want or somebody want us to want it. So yes, we live our life for ourselves, We cannot all the time live the life based on what other people want you to do. So if you receive a newsletter from certain company, it is because they want to induce you to go and want their thing. So you have to think whether or not you really wanted it. So thank you, Vivian, for the tips. Also, before we end this session, I would just like to share a bit more on what a community that can help people to learn more about how to manage their money, how to save money, how to do budgeting, how to do cash flow planning, how to learn more about how, if you want to use your credit card smartly, pay off your debt earlier, you can join a community called Money Warriors Community. This is where we come together to learn about how to save money. We have program and courses on loans and debt, understand insurance and how to do your insurance review. If you want to buy insurance, what are the things that you should know and look out for, ideas on how to grow your money. We even discuss about wills and trust. And if you want to do or learn how to DIY your financial planning, then we will also have courses that teach people how to DIY your financial planning, so that in the end of the day, once you go through the program, you can know how to put up your own income statement, net worth table, and then how to calculate how much you need to save if you want to go travel every year, and etc. So if you want to, if this looks like something that is good for you, you are interested, you can click the link and join the community. Request to join. We will review the request and approve you into the community. Then you can start to browse through what's inside there. And Vivian is also a mentor inside the community, so we also do host financial clinic. This is when we help people who have questions to look at their question and give them simple suggestion and ask them certain questions to help them gain more clarity. So this is a community that we are trying to create so that we can work with more Malaysians to empower them to take control of their money and not be alone when you think about planning for your money and tackling all your financial issue and worries. So with that, thank you, Vivian. Before we go, do you have anything else that you want to add on?
It's okay to not to feel okay. It's okay to seek for help. Just stay positive. Positive means that in mindset, and stay negative. You help. Okay.
Negative
This
is
is what we.
swab test.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So take care and stay home. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Vivian, again for your time,
Thank
and
you.
I'm looking forward to have you to share more on other topics with us later, also in the future.
Okay, sure.
So for now, I think it's good time for us to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.